Hey Scorpio, this is your 2026 full year astrology forecast. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and share this video if this was helpful to you in any way. I am trying to grow my YouTube channel this year and really make my dreams a reality. So if you can help me do that, thank you so much, Scorpio. So let's get started. I'm going to go month by month. So let's start with January. So, January, Neptune is going to be moving into your natal sixth house, entering into Aries at a very earlier degree. If you have early degree placements, this is going to affect you immediately. However, Neptune is going to be in Aries for the next 14 years. So do not fash. You will get Neptune's divine love and compassion and all the good stuff. But, with it transiting your natal sixth house, you have heightened intuition and inspiration around the things that you do on a day-to-day basis. It's almost like every day has a little magic to it. If you just believe in yourself and you believe in the things that you're doing, you can feel really drawn to creative or spiritual approaches that have to do with, wellness practices or your professional sphere. You want to avoid confusion in like your work tasks and try to integrate spiritual insights with like practical routines. In February, Saturn is going to enter into your sixth house as well in Aries, and this is going to bring discipline, structure, responsibility, and require for you to really work on your health, work on, the service that you're trying to bring out into the world, work on your spiritual practices, anything that you want to be serious about on a day-to-day basis. Saturn is going to ask for you to take responsibility for those things. Long-term habits or routines become a focus for you. There's going to be a solar eclipse in Aquarius in your natal fourth house. So that is going to bring new beginnings that have to do with your home, that have to do with family, your private life, your emotions. There's going to be opportunity to build a stronger emotional foundation, as well as domestic projects that can arise, wanting to fix your home, getting a new home, moving somewhere, maybe getting a home with friends, or getting a roommate or something like that. Saturn is going to conjunct Neptune at 0 degrees in Aries. So you're blending discipline and the vision, the bigger vision of life, which is Neptune's energy, into your daily tasks. You have to integrate spiritual practices into your daily routine in order to stay grounded. And even in like your social and service projects, you have to think of spirituality first. You really have a responsibility to your spiritual body in order to feel healthy, in order to feel alive, in order to have vitality. In March 2026, there's going to be a lunar eclipse in Virgo in your 11th house. And so this lunar eclipse is going to bring a combination of some sort that is regarding friends, allies, dreams, goals, in like the collective consciousness. You're gonna feel like the pain, the sorrow, the suffering of not feel it. It's gonna be in your mind. You're gonna really understand what people go through, and the health, or the so-called dying health of humanity. Even the habits and routines that people have on like a larger scale that aren't healthy for it, you're going to become really aware of these. Even the relationships within like your social circles, they're going to undergo closure or transformation. The lunar eclipse is going to bring a lot of transformation when it comes to the direction in life that you want to go. Maybe changing your dreams, changing the people that you're around because they're so nitpicky and controlling, or, they want things to just go how they want them to go. So Saturn is going to sextile Pluto and in March as well. So Saturn is in your sixth house, and so it's It's sextiling. Remember, sextile is actually a good energy. It's sextiling your fourth house. It's actually a good aspect because, it's like blending energies together. And so there's this supportive structure and transformation that has to do with, you know, uh, your daily activity, your health, anything that requires like your serious attention. You're gonna have like efficient and effective systems within discipline in order to enhance some type of long-term growth, any type of habit that you may have. This is like starting anew. This habit no longer exists. Any type of routine that doesn't work for you, you're gonna easily just like go cold turkey, and it's gonna last for a long time. It's not gonna bother you or bug you anymore. So that's a good thing, stopping cold turkey on a habit, something that isn't good for your health. And so moving on to April 2026, there is going Uranus is actually going to enter into Gemini, and that's your natal 8th house. And there are sudden changes in shared responsibilities, in financial partnerships. There's this breakthrough that is going to occur in the areas of like power and inheritance, and these joint ventures. You want to be open to innovative approaches when it comes to finances or shared resources. There's personal transformation that's definitely going to happen for you, and it can feel a little bit uncomfortable. It can feel like it's taking over your mind. It can feel as though like you think about it a lot before it happens. You see it before it happens. You have dreams about it, almost like you get very frustrated, or I would say like you need to let it out in a healthy way, Scorpio, because it can come to like your emotions channeling in your mind. You're a water sign, and usually you have to express these things, but with Uranus being in the 8th house, these things can really like drive you, I won't say drive you mad, right? But your mind is so active to like intimacy, trust issue, manipulation, that it's almost like everything seems like that if you aren't really grounded within your own body, And Gemini is a sign of thinking. So you have to be really sure about the people that you have around you, and a lot of genius things can come to this as well. Like you can be right about so much, Scorpio. Like you can be right about things that are happening in the future, like your dreams, like your intuition. It's almost like you knew that was going to happen. But sometimes, like I said, there's a thing called spiritual psychosis. Like if we're not grounded, everything just seems like it's a sign or it's a signal. And sometimes it's our mind having fears and anxiety. So yes, definitely, you know, I think that your spiritual and psychic abilities are going to enhance, but you have to know how to control them, okay? Or not even control, let me not say that word. You have to learn how to work with them and be very decisive, and have discernment. So Pluto, which is your ruler, is going to go retrograde in your 4th house. So think about what, you know, the things that you have went through in childhood, as a child, early development, the thing with your parents or not with your parents, just the thing with your ancestry, your habits, your private life, your inner world, your emotional world. Those things are going to be under like reassessment. I think you're going to be consciously connected to those that who have came before you, and this can have to do with like you having dreams that you don't know why you're having these dreams, or you're having goals but you don't know why you're having these goals, and meaning that it can have come from another lifetime. There's something that you have to pay in this lifetime. Pluto, we know that Pluto is a destroyer. So ultimately, what Pluto is trying to destroy any habits or any type of, ancestral trauma or generational patterns that don't work for your bloodline. And you're going to see like first sight into those things like as time goes on. And when Pluto goes retrograde, you're able to reassess these things that need closure or that need transformation. So June 2026, Uranus is going to square the North Node. So, your eighth house, and your eighth house is going to be squaring your fifth house. So expect shifts or even shocks around, your financial matters, your intimacy. A square is a very complicated or challenging energy actually to work with, because it's like challenging like your personal values, your security. It's trying to challenge your life direction, almost like something out of the ordinary happens, but it stops you from moving further. And ultimately, like Scorpio, that's for your own good. It's like I made this same example, how you are going to work and maybe, or you're going somewhere and there's like so much traffic, but you want to get to that place so badly that it's like, I'm late, this and that, but everything happens for a reason and it's divine timing. And so if something is revealing or shocking and comes as a shock to you, just know that it's for a purpose, and pay attention to it. And like, don't get discouraged by it as well. Mercury is going to retrograde in Cancer. And this is the time where you're going to be reflecting on, what you believe and, what this world means to you, your experiences. I think, this really does have a lot to do with where you came from and who you consider to be like your ancestors and your spirit guides. Like, these are the ones that are having these deep conversations with you. Just like avoid making decisions that, I would say, like when it comes, like to traveling and, going places and things, like kind of put that on a hold until the retrograde is over. But you want to take steps towards learning some type of emotional, uh, what do you call it? Intelligence. You have to learn some type of emotional intelligence, because you are, I'm not saying you're going to be taken over by, your emotions, but with Pluto in the fourth house, there's a lot of things that must be destroyed. Tendencies that don't work for us, like obsession and like fixating on something, even when it comes to letting go of something, it could be so tied into your genetics that you don't know how to do this, and it makes you emotional. And so the retrograde is going to get you to learn new techniques, to travel somewhere, to to really see something new, to use your experiences as wisdom. In July 2026, Jupiter is going to enter into Leo. And Jupiter and Leo is going to be expanding your like your image. Jupiter in the 10th house can be very, very great. There's so much growth, there's so many opportunities in the public's like your life direction. I want to say public this if you care about social media, but if you don't, there's a lot of opportunities that will come to you that really exert your authority, your stand in this world. Your long-term goals are more like they're recognized by other people. You get recognition, you get promotions, there's leadership roles that can appear for you when Jupiter goes into the 10th house. I was like, what does that sound? But yeah, Neptune is going to retrograde in your 6th house. So this is going to get you to reassess your goals and reassess your health and routines. There's clarity that it's going to come, of course, after the retrograde, but it really wants you to clarify which approaches are going to support long-term goals. There's going to be a Jupiter opposition in Jupiter is going to be opposite Pluto. So your 10th house is going to be opposite your 4th. And there's tension between careers, there's tension between ambitions and family responsibilities or home responsibilities. There can be hidden power dynamics that can emerge in like your professional and your domestic life. So it's like, it's going to seem bigger than it actually is, or it's going to be made bigger because it's something that you have to heal or close the chapter on. So the North Node is going to shift into Aquarius, and this, Aquarius is your 4th house. So there's a lot of things that you have to do in this life, Scorpio, that's it's gonna require for you to transform the things that your parents taught you, the patterns that you learned, the trauma that you have developed. It's truly for a reason, and you're meant to change your lineage to upgrade something that has to do with your ancestry. Like, you're really connected to them, and like the North Node is trying to get you to go as far. Like, it's not going to stop digging. It's not going to stop digging and pushing you into what needs to be transformed. You can move, you can buy a home. There's just a lot of things that can happen with the North Node. North Node likes Aquarius, and it being in the 4th house, there's something, very significant in your life that's going to change, that really ripples down to like your ancestry. A lot of growth that emerges through contributing to your own lineage. So in August 2026, there's going to be a lunar eclipse in Aquarius. And wow, there's so many things in the 4th house, right? Like, it's like your ancestors have really called on you for a purpose, a reason, like your genius, and you have to take responsibility for it. Otherwise, it can weigh you down in ways that you don't want it to weigh you down. You just want to understand that you were chosen for an absolute reason, and you have to do what's necessary and what needs to be done. There's no way that you can escape the blueprint of what your ancestors have been exposed to. Like, you get reminded of you get reminded of like their pain, their trauma, and the things that they have went through. And this is so consciously in your mind that you have to change the future. That the children, and that anybody that comes after you, whether if you don't want to have children, but anybody that comes after you will not have to endure what you have seen in visions, and when you spend time alone, what you have seen and dreams, and what you have even felt. You don't want this to happen to like the next generation, or even to yourself. It's like healing yourself. You heal, it ripples down and heals the lineage. There's going to be a solar eclipse in Virgo in August as well, and that's your 11th house. So the solar eclipse is like bringing in fresh new alliances, people who are aligning with your goals, or aligning with your vision. It's bringing in creativity. It's bringing in authentic self-expression. Like, this is a perfect time. This is a perfect time to like initiate personal and collective projects. Anything that, and this is a perfect time to to subscribe to long-term goals, because they're going to bring you the most results. You can get something back that you've been working on for a long time. You can make a stride forward. Like, a solar eclipse is actually something coming into your life that's positive, but ultimately it's going to change your life, and it's going to rearrange everything, what you thought about friends, what you thought you wanted in life. It's going to shift your consciousness. You are the revolutionary of your own life, Scorpio, and you have say on where it's going and where it's headed and what you want to do with your life. August and September, let's just go to September. you're integrating lessons from the Jupiter and Pluto opposition, the eclipses, the North Node shifts. It's going to require, balance in your career, balance in your home, balance in your responsibilities, in your personal expression. There's a lot happening, during those couple of months, like July, August, September is eclipse season. Your life is going to change dramatically. And I think that your outlook, like, you're going to feel much lighter. Your outlook is going to change dramatically as well. Even with in October, we're not in October now, Venus is going to be in retrograde in your sign. And so when Venus goes retrograde in your sign, you know that she's telling you, hey, you have to love yourself and know enough to know when to let go. You have to reserve your own behaviors, your own like hidden matters. You have to reassess yourself. You have to reassess relationships, even, reassess spiritual commitments, and any type of past dynamics that have come up are going to ask you to heal yourself. They're going to ask you to find closure within those things. There's going to be a Mercury retrograde as well in your sign in October, and causing reflection in partnerships, in the way that you communicate with other people. The whole dynamic is going to change, where there may be misunderstandings. There may be, you want to avoid like making major commitments, or just leaving abruptly. Venus in retrograde and Mercury in retrograde, they want you to self-reflect, especially into your sign. That's going to be something really, really huge for you, I want to say. And it's going to be going on a little bit like in your season as well. So you really want to reflect upon your own self and your own behavior. I think it's more about you than other people, how you show up and how other people show. It's more about how you showing up rather than how other people are showing up. In November 2026, the retrogrades are going to end. There's going to be more clarity within your mind, your body, and any hidden matters that have come up. You now have found the truth of them, and you're learning to integrate these lessons to become more stabilized as a person. Uranus is going to trine Pluto, and, like I said, it's your natal fourth house, and Uranus is in your eighth house. And so this trine is going to bring like long lasting results, and I say long lasting results, but really there's this like harmonious flow of transformation that comes through, like, your shared experiences with other people. If we, think about the eighth house, we think about finances, and, if we think about Pluto, we think about the truth. So the truth is going to reveal itself. Secrets are going to come out, but this is going to free you, Scorpio. There's it's trying to empower you in some type of way. That's trying, because this is like effortlessly flowing energy. It's trying to awaken something within you, some type of spark in you, where it's like very much an aha moment about like your resources, your financial stability, even when it comes to like your inheritances, and what do you call that? Things that have happened like in the past. The fourth house, has to do with the past. You finally find a reason to move forward, or you find the reason behind that and realize there's no such thing as coincidences, and you're actually chosen for something big, Scorpio. And yes, a lot of breakthroughs in those areas of your life, which is the fourth house, which is home, family matters, your private life, and in the eighth house, which is like your psychological mind. Like, you are going to be upgraded for empowerment. In December 2026, Saturn is going to, and it's retrograde, and so is Neptune, in Aries, in your natal sixth house. And ending this, retrograde period is definitely going to bring you new insights. If when Saturn and Neptune go into retrograde, don't stop working hard. There are going to be things that stabilize after they come out, but like your spiritual practices, you're going to have long-term habits with those things, and healthy habits as well. And like daily practices are going to be achieved if you are integrating them, and like as learned experiences. There's things that really solidify when they come out of retrograde, because you're more serious about them. You're more serious about who you allow into your life. You're like just reinforcing things, you know. And there could have been like a lot of tension in your daily activities because it could be confusing. But it's asking for reassessment. It's encouraging some type of transformation. It's trying to empower you so that you can have fresh starts when it comes to like your personal expression, your authentic joy, any type of involvement that you have with the next person. Is asking you to deeply focus on your domestic responsibilities as well. The responsibilities that we have to our ancestors, to our spirit guides, becoming more in tune with that. And you will with Neptune, entering into the sixth house. It's almost like your mind and your life is a whole spiritual journey, and you start to realize those things. But you can have lived experiences and visions that your ancestors had. It's really like Neptune is really something that you can't describe. You have to embody and live. But this is a planet about transcendence and selflessness and compassion. And it's like the highest form of love is trying to bring unity and love. But sometimes these things get confusing because you think, where does this come from? Like, why do I like to like read tarot cards or something like that? How am I good at this? And so, just understanding that your psychic abilities are something prominent within your lineage. And, a lot of gifts are like within you, Scorpio, and they're going to awaken slowly but surely in the next 14 years. And Saturn is going to ask you to be responsible. If you are a prophet, you have to be responsible for that. You don't just use it as willy-dilly. Like, with power comes great sacrifice, and honestly it needs to have great integrity as well. And so yes, that's all I have for you, Scorpio. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share my video if it was helpful. Have a great year of 2026. It's going to be a grand one for you, Scorpio. So I'll see you. Good luck. Bye, Scorpio.